Hey, good evening, Gia. Good evening, everyone.
Hello, Dave. Welcome.
Hey, thank you, Gia. Thanks for being here. Thanks for your help. Okay, great to see everyone. Going to get rolling here in about 30 seconds. So thanks for coming on tonight for session number 3 of Adventures into Self-Mastery. I think Gia just put the link to the second session we had in the link in the chat box. So if you didn't get to be live on the last one, then watch it as a recording. We covered some juicy pieces and something great. Just above. If you watched it already were there, we'll go watch it again. But yeah, so tonight we're gonna have some fun. We're gonna get into some really great stuff. We're going to build upon what we've been talking about the first 2 sessions. Tonight's going to be around, you can't mess it up, and here's why. And this is some concepts that, it was probably 22 years ago. I was in my first, went to a course, Dr. Demartini course, and we covered these questions that we're going to kind of go over tonight, some of these concepts. And it really hit hard for me. It was really a life-changing weekend as I learned how to start asking quality questions. And for the past 22 years I've been helping people ask quality questions and find the answers and create a vision for their life based on what we find out. And so we're going to get into that tonight. So thanks for being here. I was going to talk for about an hour to about 8 o'clock. Then we'll have some questions after. So like Gia said, put your questions in the chat box and we'll let you read those when we have that space toward the end, and we'll get rolling. So anyway, thank you again. Lovely to be here as well. So we're going to get going here. Now, who is Dave? Dr. Dave Tuck. That's me, obviously, tonight. I'm not going to go into much here. If you want to learn more about myself, go to my website, drdavetuck.com, and there's plenty of stuff you can learn. But I've been basically in the health and wellness field for almost 30 years now, and doing some mind-body work and some teaching universal laws for the last 22 years. Studied a great deal of many mentors of my life, but Dr. Demartini was one of them as well. And a lot of the work we're going to be talking tonight is some of his work as well. So it's really great to be here. So go to my website if you haven't been there. Great info and other videos and things you can learn. So what I want to do tonight is I want to dive into a little bit more of the wellness, the rich model, the rich wellness model, the rich program that I talk about. I want to build a little bit more foundation here on this rich model. So if you can, write this down, because we're going to reference this every class. And this is something that I use in my life daily to help compartmentalize your life and all the areas, to kind of strategize and plan, and to really use it as a tool to learn how to navigate life's, challenges and difficulties and anything you run against. So rich model. Now, obviously, there's 4 areas. We've got a relationship, identity, career, and health. So I want to break down a little bit further here. This is the full model. We haven't gone over this yet, because tonight I want you to show you the full model of how it really fits together. So obviously we've got the rich in the middle, and then we're going to break down each area. So the R is relationship, and then there's 3 areas that are subcategories of your relationships. The S stands for your social life, social group. The F is your family dynamic. And then the P is going to be for your partner. That's like your significant other, or if you don't have one, that's your own self. We're our first partner. And so whether you're with the partner or not, you still are playing that role. So those are the 3 areas of the relationships. And the C, which is the career or cash, even career, cash, both. You got 3 areas. We've got the service that you are here to provide, the things that you love doing. We've got the W, which is your wealth that you want to build, whether that's monetary wealth or other wealth in other areas, which is a result of service. And the M is the mastery of that service. How do you master what you're here to do and become more efficient and be able to serve ever greater numbers of people? So those are the 3 areas of the C. In the H, you've got 3 areas. This is the H is health. And that's your mental, physical health. And 3 areas that we look at when we're categorizing is the C, which is the chemical area, which is what you put in your body or don't put in your body, and then you got the P, which is the physical, which is what you do to your body or don't do to your body. And then the E is the emotional stress that we have. And I like to, I like the E's at the bottom of the whole entire chart because it's foundational. Learning to manage your emotions is foundational to be able to manage your whole entire life. So we can learn how to manage your emotions more effectively. You can learn to navigate all areas of your life. Now, in the middle, we also have we've got 3 areas. And those are your values. Values drives priorities. The M is your mission, what you're here to do, your purpose. And then you got the A, which is your authentic expression. And so the middle piece, which is the I, that is the core of the whole model. And that's where we're spending a lot of time. The first 2 classes have been really focused on getting centered in that I, getting clear on your values, getting more clear about your mission and more clear about what it means for you to just be an authentic being and for you to express yourself as you. Because those are the 3 core pieces to really the foundations of the rest of your life. And so that's why we pull out that middle. We're gonna spend a little more time here tonight even in discussing how do we master this middle piece. For self-mastery, one of the first keys of self-mastery is about self-knowledge. And so this whole course is the adventures into self-mastery. And certainly it is definitely an adventure as you get to learn more about who you are and why you're here. I like to look at life as an adventure, and certainly each course that we're going to be teaching is going to be in its own adventure about how to master an area of your life and learn how to navigate, life's challenges, obstacles, pitfalls, roadblocks, transition periods, which we all have. We'll go back to this model for a second, because every area of your life, the RICH, this is where we have our areas of stress, areas of anxiety, areas of challenge, areas of support, these areas of life. And so when you compartmentalize your experiences of life in each area, it helps you kind of, get a clear bird's eye view about what's going on with your life. And I think it's probably safe to say that each of us has our own unique story that we've created throughout our entire life. As soon as we showed up here, we started the adventure. And if you scan your life, you will see that you've had experiences, you've had opportunities, you've had transitions, you've had these areas of life have been the areas where you tend to have your stress in as well. And so learning how to balance and have a flow of all the areas of your life while still maintaining your values, your mission, and your authenticity is what we're here to do in this course, is to help you be empowered within yourself, within your values, your mission, living authentically, and then creating an amazing areas of life. Your relationships, your career, your finance, your health can all be empowered and supported through knowing yourself and really having a clear mission about what you're here to do. And again, each of us has our own story. We've all been down the path, and I was bet to say that each of us has had an experience in your life to where maybe initially, maybe this experience is in your relationship, your career, or health, but maybe you had an experience where you initially thought it was bad or terrible, or you thought it was no good. You wish it hadn't happened. And maybe even look back on it today and you think, oh, that was a terrible experience. I wish I could change that, But maybe sometime in the future, you look back on that experience and you realize, wow, I can really see now as I've gotten away from it and look back on it, how that was actually served me and how that actually was a benefit to me. And I would actually not ever want to change that. And so we've all had those kind of experiences. And so tonight, we're going to help you give some tools to where no matter what you experience, what you have experienced or currently experienced or are going to experience in the future, you're able to navigate these experiences that you may initially think are not so hot, or maybe you think is super hot, super great, but be able to ask the right questions to be able to be more grounded and get into see the full quantum of each experience. When you have experiences in your past that you don't see full quantum on, then you carry the baggage into your future. And those experiences which you carry forward as negative experiences or baggage, I like to describe as kind of like bricks. I heard this many years ago. What if you think about each experience you've had in your life is like a brick, heavy brick, and you got two choices with that brick. You can take it, you can carry it around with you, lug it over your shoulders, put it on your back, and carry that with you all your life. Or you can take that same brick, that same experience, and you can start stacking each experience on top of each other, and you can build something great out of that. And so, what I'd love to share tonight is how to take those bricks of experience and use them as fuel and tools and building blocks to create an amazing life out of it. Because self-mastery is also about learning to navigate and manage your emotions more effectively throughout life, because we're going to continue to experience times in life where we might see a one-sided event, to where we think something has more negative than positive, cause more pain than pleasure, more challenge than support. And when we do that, we carry baggage from that. And so we want to learn how to take each experience and ask the right questions to see full quantum experience, so you can actually learn the lessons that you're meant to learn from that experience. Because there are no mistakes in what we attract and what we experience. If you can learn the tools to pull out those nuggets of wisdom, then you can actually see each experience as a blessing and have gratitude for each one, and carry that forward into the present day and into your future, as opposed to carrying perceived traumas or perceived negative experiences into your future as well, which will give you a different result. I tend to notice that if I don't learn a lesson the first time around, it certainly comes back around again in a new form until I really learn how to love whatever's happened to me. Okay. And of course, in my life, I've had plenty of experiences, from birth trauma to eye surgeries as a kid, through car accidents, through marriage, to divorce, through school problems and open a practice, and passing of a loved one. All these things are events and experiences that I've had in my life. And I think a lot of people have had similar things, but you can use those as fuel if you know how to ask the right questions. And I know that before I knew this work, I would look back on my life and see many of these experiences and think it was not good, more negative than positive, caused me more pain than pleasure. Wish I could change that. I wish that hadn't happened. But when you actually learn and you shift your perception around the events that happened in your life and your past, you can actually find those nuggets of wisdom that the experience is meant to teach you, and then take that and move that forward in the future. Because you're not going to attract an experience that's going to teach you a lesson that you're not going to need in your life. So if you're attracting it, you need it, and there's something to learn from it. And it's just about learning how to ask those quality questions. And this is what I do when I work with clients, is we help navigate this tough road of life experiences that on the surface might seem more one-sided, but when you really look at it from both sides and see full quantum, you see that it actually has both sides and it actually serves. So this is what we're going to try to nail down tonight, give you some nuggets of wisdom. So you can't mess things up. Here's why. We're going to talk about three different components of this. One is about learning tools to see the balance of life, which is the law of polarity. One of the laws we're going to talk about tonight. There's many, many laws, universal laws, but we're going to talk about the law of polarity tonight. Nothing to forgive, seeing life's synchronicities, and the importance of dissolving emotional baggage and what that does to us when we don't dissolve the emotional baggage. So let's roll with this. So learning to see the tools to see a balance of life, the law of polarity. Here's what the law of polarity says, is that life always maintains a balance of positive, negative. Every experience comes with it, both sides, positive, negative. In our last talk, we covered intuition, impulse, and instinct. If you didn't see it, go back and watch it. It's really valuable stuff to learn. I've talked to a few people this week that came to class, and they've been using those tools, and it's really helped them shift perceptions to learn to see full quantum. Again, impulse, you see more positive than negative, so you want to move towards something. Instinct, you see more negative than positive, you're going to move away from something. Intuition is trying to see both sides, full quantum, so you see equal positive, negative. So then you get back into center, and then you can tap into inner voice. And so law of polarity states that everything has both sides, equal positive, equal negative. So If you have an experience in your life where you perceive more negative than positive, more pain than pleasure, that someone caused you, then you may have resentment and anger toward that person. If you perceive you cause more pain than pleasure, more harm than good, more negative than positive, then you might have guilt and shame and regret about what you have done. And those are emotions that you are only seeing one side. Those are polarized states of emotion that you're only, and that's feedback that's letting you know that you're only seeing one side. You're either seeing more positive or more negative. It may be that you see some positive, but more negative, which is also out of balance. There's equal amounts of positive and negative. Law of equilibrium. You not only have positive, negative, both events, you also have an equal amount of positive, negative. And that's really important, because sometimes you might have an event and think, yeah, I can see some good, but I certainly had more bad in it. Well, that's still polarized and that's still one-sided. And so you're not quite seeing the full quantum yet. So it's important to really understand and know how this law works. And sometimes it takes going back and just seeing it enough times. When I first heard that, when I first learned this, I was like, oh, surely not these events I had in my life. How could that car accident actually, it almost killed me, actually been serving? How can this trauma at birth, how could that actually serve me? How could these, the passing of a loved one, how is it actually beneficial, and those kind of things. So to be able to go back and ask those questions allowed me to see the synchronicity of the events that happened in my life. And as you practice and master this, and you see enough of these experiences, you've already had it before, because sometimes events are pretty easy to see both sides of it. Sometimes it takes a while to see it, but the mastery is learning to see both sides at the same time, instantaneously if possible. So you don't have a lot of time horizon in between, because that time it takes for you to see both sides, you're creating emotional baggage in yourself, which is stored in your physiology. So it's important to, as quick as you can, take the event and see the full quantum by asking the quality questions, so you can continue to move forward and not let it, again, be a brick that holds you back and you carry with you in the future. What happens to that is, when you have a one-sided event carrying forward, it creates fear of the future, because if you perceive that you experienced something in your past that was more harm than good, or more negative than positive, that's going to create a fear of attracting that again and again, which you will, because that's the lesson. When you can see the full quantum of an event, you no longer have to experience that same lesson again, because you got it. Now, you will experience new ones, because that's life, and we're never going to stop learning. So we're always going to continue to have opportunities to grow through experiences that we have. However, if you can learn to master asking the questions and see full quantum, then you can continue to learn and grow and grow and grow at a faster pace. And I'm guessing that everyone on this call is here because there's something more you want to do. You want to learn. You're in a learning mode. There's something greater you're here to do, and you're trying to learn what that is. Maybe you want to learn how to master your emotions more effectively. So these are tools that you can start using today to see the benefits of perceived events that might have happened in your life. So it's about asking those quality questions. So if you perceive more negative than positive an event, the question is, what's the other side of the equation? How is this actually serve me? What are the benefits to this event? In that period of time when I've had this experience, how did it actually benefit me in that moment? And how did it actually benefit me up till today? And how is it possibly going to benefit me in the future? And then when you can ask the questions like that, then you will feel your emotions start to calm down and get back into center again. I want to share with you, I had an experience yesterday, as a matter of fact, which is beautiful, coming onto this call. And I had this experience that when it happened, almost immediately, I started to see how it actually served me and helped me connect back to my purpose. It helped me see more gratitude for my life and being able to live and be here on the planet. It helped me connect more to my teaching and more to these tools that I'm sharing with you tonight, firsthand experience yesterday. And it really taught me immediately how to get more present and use my breath. And that event that happened yesterday was I had a car accident. Yesterday, I was driving and someone hit my car. And immediately I started looking at the benefits and how is this actually serving me? Not negating that it's has drawbacks, because it is kind of a pain to have to go through that experience. But and in the moment, I was emotional around it. I was feeling anxious, and it's the more I could see how it's serving me in the moment, the more I could see how that's going to serve me in my future to get this experience that happened to me yesterday. I could feel my emotions continue to calm down within 15, 20 minutes of the accident. And I was back into center. And within the hour, I was on a podcast and I actually did a video because I could get back to center. 5 seconds after that experience, I wouldn't be able to do that. But because of the questions that I was able to learn to ask, you can actually see these experiences in both, have full quantum. And every experience that you've ever had in your life has full quantum. There's not an experience that only has one side, because it doesn't exist. That's only in our perceptions. And so it's the big ones that we really have trouble with that probably give you the biggest lessons, that are there to teach you the most things. So if you're having challenges with it, great. Keep asking the right questions until you come up with the answers. And because there is going to be full quantum. Now, this was challenging for me early in my life when I was first learning this work, because some events you look at and go, wow, there's no way this has positive. There's no way this has served me. There's no way that this could actually be something that they're going to learn something from, until you actually ask the questions. And then when you see, and you can see more and more benefits, how it served you, you start to have gratitude for this event. And instead of having stress around it, you feel blessed around it. And so the quickest way to turn stresses into blessings is asking quality questions and seeing both sides. Allow yourself to see both sides. And it can be a life-changing tool for you. So one thing that you want to do tonight or whenever you can is look back on your events, look back at your life, birth to now, and just see if there's any events, anything that you felt was done to you, anything you felt you've done to someone that you have a one-sided equation on. You think it maybe cause more harm than good, or more negative than positive, more challenge and support. Or it may be something that you have an infatuation to, and you see that it also goes both ways. You see that it has more good, it's only good and no bad, or it's just supporting and no challenging. You don't see any drawbacks to it. Those are also events. Those are also areas of life that we can have baggage in as well. So I would love for you to go through your life with the paper and just write down any event that you might perceive has that tag to it. And see if you can start asking these kind of quality questions and start learning the lessons from it. And when you can do that, what happens in the present moment is you start to be there. Because when we're running a program in our mind that has imbalanced equations and not full quantum, it keeps us from being present in the moment, because we have brain noise now going in. We have this, I'm sure we've all experienced that sometimes, where you have your brain just keeps going 100 miles an hour, and you have a hard time staying present. When you can dissolve the past emotions, you can actually be more present in the daily life, in your daily moments. And it's in that present moment, when you can be present in the daily moment, that's when you can really see the synchronicities that are happening all around you. But when we're stuck in our mind, and we're not in full quantum, we're not in our intuition, we're in our polarized states of instinct and impulse, we're only seeing one side. And that keeps you from being actually present in the moment. In my experience, when I'm not present in the moment, you attract circumstances, car accident, to get you back present, to get you back grounded, and get you back paying attention to what you need to focus on. And so it's those experiences. Those are the feedbacks in your relationships, in your career, in your finance, in your health. These feedback mechanisms that happen to us to get us to wake up are a beautiful part of the matrix to try to get you to wake up. Because if you keep attracting the same experience over and over again, the same type of person over and over again, the same financial stress, the same health issue over and over again, then there's a good chance you're probably thinking and having the same pattern going on in your mind about what you perceive about your life. And so your physiology is a beautiful feedback mechanism that can help you get back on present again. And it's just there to help teach you to try to go back and see full quantum of your past and in your present. And when you have the past and present moment full quantum, you get rid of anxiety and fears of the future. So it's a beautiful thing. Next, nothing to forgive, seeing life's synchronicities. This is an important one because here's a question. If you go back and see events that you previously perceived had more negative than positive, and someone did something to you that you perceived caused you more harm than good, then you might be angry, or you might be upset with that person, or not like them, all right? And you might feel that they need to apologize and you need to forgive them and those kind of things. So when you go back and see full quantum of events and you learn lessons that are there, what happens? What's there to forgive in that moment? When I work with clients who come into me and they're having lots of anger about maybe an old boyfriend or girlfriend or a parent or relative or a coworker or a job, or, you know, they feel that they were a victim, okay, of an experience. And we go back and we see all the synchronicities that's happened from the experience and learn the lessons that we need to learn from that experience. Then they sit in a space of no victimhood, nothing to forgive any longer. Because there is nothing to forgive. There's only a thank you for giving me this experience that taught me these lessons that I must need to know, and I can see how it's serving me now, and I can see how it's going to serve me in the future. That is a different energy than dragging forward with you emotions and anger or guilt and shame for an experience that happened in the past. And then what happens to blame at that point? If you see full quantum of experiences, what happens to needing to blame someone? That goes out the window as well, because there's nothing to blame. There's nothing to forgive because you have full quantum and you see the experience as whole. You see an equal positive, negative. You see how it served you. And when you do, you learn the lesson, you get back to intuition, you see how everything's on the way, not in the way. Then you don't carry that emotion forward. And there's no reason, there's nothing to forgive. There's nothing to blame. And you just be present in each moment. So to me, that's a powerful tool to have. So again, as you scan your life, are there people that you feel have done you wrong? Or is there people that you feel need to apologize to you? Or you feel you need to apologize to someone else? You feel that you caused the problem? Look at that angle as well to see, are there people in your life that you are still having anger toward or judgments toward, or you feel that, you know, they did something to you? Write those down as well. The goal here is to get rid of the baggage from your past, is to really analyze each experience that you've had since you've been here, and go through and really learn each lesson that each experience has that's there to give you, and capitalize on that. Don't squander the opportunity to learn a lesson because maybe you're too prideful, maybe you want to hold a grudge, or maybe you're gaining benefit out of that. Okay, don't allow that to stop you from living your full expression. And you living your full expression in the present moment comes from you learning and seeing the benefits of the past experiences and seeing how everything has served you up to this point, and learning each lesson. All of us have had unique life experiences. No one sees the world the same. No one has had the same experiences, and no one filters the world any like you do, because we all have different sets of values. We all have different ways of thinking. That's why it's very important that, as we talked on the first class, is get clear about your values, get clear about your drives, your priorities, and get clear about your mission, because that's the foundation. It's what makes you unique. It's the foundation of why you filter the world the way you do. Because you'll have an event happen. You might have seen this, I'm sure, in your life, where an event happens. Someone looks at that event and think, wow, that's a terrible event. And then another person, same exact event, says, wow, that's a really amazing event. And then you ask the question, which one of these people are right? Which one of these people are wrong? And when you really think about it, neither one of them are right and wrong. They're just judging and filtering each experience through their values. And no one's right or wrong when they're clear about their values and they're labeling or judging experience through their values, because that's true for you. And it's such an important thing to know as well when you're in relationships. Anybody been in relationships and had stress? I mean, that's part of what relationships are for, right? To challenge us and teach us. And so when you can get clear about your own values and your partner's values, and you can both learn how to filter the world through your values, you can actually show up and be more authentic. Because when you're trying to be someone you're not and live according to someone else's values, you're not being yourself. You're not living your full potential. You're playing a role and you're not being you. And I'm sure we've all felt those times in our life where you feel like really disconnected from yourself, disconnected from your mission, not sure why you're here. You're feeling stuck. You're feeling lost. You feel there's something you want to do, but you can't quite figure out what it is. And you just feel in this transition point, sitting on the fence, I like to call it, where you're just stuck and you don't know which way to get off. So you just sit there and you're kind of on a merry-go-round revolution. And so that's why it's really key to, as you go through and ask these quality questions of your past, you want to have a clear idea about your values and your drive. So you can say, how has this event served my highest values? How has this event that I experienced how has this driven me? How has this actually shown me more about why I'm here? Why am I here to serve? I truly believe that every experience that we've had carries with it these nuggets of wisdom that's a part of our mission. When I take people through my process of getting clear about your inspired mission, we're looking heavily into your experiences of your life, and we're pulling out those nuggets of wisdom that you've had, and we're trying to learn those lessons, because those must be a part of who you are. They must be a part of your mission, or you wouldn't have experienced these things. And so even having an experience that you haven't loved yet is a part of your experience. That's a part of your mission. But the gold here, the golden nugget, is going back and seeing the wisdom that you can really take out of each experience. And if you can pull the wisdom of each of your experiences of life and you compile those, and you really look and see, what are these patterns? What's the pattern of experiences I've been attracting in my life? What's this pattern of learning that I've been having all my life? And you can really see that on a whole. You'll start to notice that, wow, they're all connected. There's a synchronicity between each of these experiences of life. There's a synchronicity and a learning that I'm meant to learn, because I must need it to be where I am today, and I must need it to move forward into the future. And so again, I like to say, don't squander that opportunity of an experience, even if it may seem not so good. Dive in there and go dig out those nuggets of wisdom and release the baggage you might be carrying around there, and just see what happens. And in my experience, you normalize your physiology, you decrease your stress levels, you clear the brain noise out, you feel lighter, you have more of a clear vision about why you're here and what you're meant to do. You have more of a clear idea about your highest values and your drives because of these experiences, not in spite of them, because you've experienced these things. And again, each experience is unique to all of us, because we're going to filter those through our own values. So I'm a fan of asking other people's opinions, but really I'm more interested in what you think and what each experience means to you as a person. Because, no doubt that there's authority figures out there, parents, church figures, or teachers, or, grandparents, who have their own set of values, and they will judge each experience in a whole different way than you're going to judge each experience because of their values. And it doesn't mean they're right or wrong. So it doesn't mean you don't take that input. It just means that you filter that through your values and you do what's right for you based on who you are. And then when you can do that, you're starting to really master your life. You're starting to master your emotions, and you're starting to be masterful at taking charge about your own destiny, and not what other people think you should be doing or not doing. In the last class, we discussed languages about got to, have tos, and that's desperation language versus love to and choose to and desire to. And again, if you haven't watched that, go back and watch that. It really talks around watching your language and just checking into how you're filtering the world. And if you're using the language of got to, have to, and shoulds and ought tos, then you're probably not living in your values. When you're using love to, choose to, and desires to, you're probably living in your values. And so when we have experiences in life that we don't see full quantum, we drop into the should to, have tos, and got to desperation living, because we have fear now. We have fear of the future. We have baggage that we carry forward, and has less inspiration and more desperation when you use that language. So again, I can't tell you the benefit of so many benefits of learning how to navigate not only your current experiences, but dissolving the past experiences of life. So seeing life synchronicities is really important. We're not going to stop having experiences. You're not going to stop having opportunities to learn and grow. And you might have noticed that if you don't learn the lesson the first time, it's just like school. When if you don't pass one grade, you didn't learn the right lesson, then you got to repeat it over again. And that's what we do in life. And I always find it just costs more time, and it's very expensive usually when you have to keep repeating the same lesson. I notice as I get older, my lessons are more and more expensive. So learn these tools now, and no matter where you are, how old you are, where you've been, and where you're going, these are going to be tools that you can take with you to help navigate life. Because as you've seen, when you do that scan of your life, you're going to see, wow, there's been times where I've had some big challenges. There's been times where things were going really smooth, and boom, I got hit with some event or some person, something happened, and you unexpectedly. And so life is like that. And so when you have these unexpected events happen, and you can see full quantum of them quickly, you can move through it with grace and poise, and not let it throw you off. I know that this car accident I had yesterday, if I had it 20 years ago, I would have probably canceled my talks yesterday. I would have been down in the dumps. I would have been angry. I would have been, sad. I would have been really emotional, probably even now, no doubt, because that happens. I've had my first car accident was 18 years old, and I was in the hospital, and it took me 12 years before I learned the tools to be able to look at that event and say, wow, thank God I had that car accident. I would never become a chiropractor. I would never have got into teaching this work I teach without that event happening. And I'm so grateful for it. I would never want to change it again. Because at one point, when I look back, I would want to change that event because I thought it was terrible. But now, looking back, you see, there's no way I would change it, because it would change everything. And so the wisdom and the real mastery comes from not letting it take a week, a month, 10 years, 20 years before you can see the full quantum of it. You can see it immediately if you can ask the right quality questions in the moment. And yesterday was a really great reminder of me for that. And I just wanted to share that with you, because you never know when things happen, right? So beautiful. Let's go on. The last topic. We're going to talk about the importance of dissolving the emotional baggage. So for 30 years, I've been in the wellness industry, been a chiropractor. I've done a lot of mind-body work. I've done a lot of courses on the mind-body and the relationship between what you think and how it affects your physiology. And so I've seen years and years of how this affects people's lives. When I first got out of school, when I was 24, I knew how to fix the body. And then I started getting into nutrition. And I noticed that, wow, people that I put on their nutrition plan, and I did some chiropractic work, some people would still get better and some weren't. And then when I started studying the mind-body connection, I started realizing, wow, it's great to put in the right foods, put in the right things, and not put in things, but it's also great to exercise and take care of your body. But if you don't have the emotional stability, and if you can't navigate life's emotional stress, it's the trump card. I've noticed it will cause some physiological issues if you don't clear out the emotional baggage. Now, in chronic, if you have something that's been around 20, 30, 40 years that you haven't cleared out, that's going to manifest into some pretty good diseases. I've seen that. I saw that in my practice in the last 30 years is people that had the worst health conditions, that had the most arthritic problems, the most digestive issues, the most fatigue problems, the most depression, the most anxiety, the most back pain and neck pain, and the ones that healed the slowest were the ones that had the most emotional stresses. They had the most emotional baggage from their life experiences that they never have resolved. And you see it at a young age, and it starts to manifest into health issues. And so it's really important. And so we started adding this into our practice, is helping people dissolve the emotional baggage. Because if you don't, it will manifest into physiological diseases and issues, which is your body's feedback that's there to try to get you to go solve the mystery and go learn the lesson. Because the universe wants you to learn the lesson. We're all here for a mission. We all have a mission and purpose to be here. And each experience is part of that. And so if you fail to see that, and you carry more and more emotional baggage, you take those bricks of experiences like we talked about earlier, and you carry those around on your shoulders, and every emotion is stored in a different part of your body, different organ, different tissue, different muscle groups. It gets in your physiology and affects how you feel and look. And so when you carry that with you over time, the aging process is much faster. People that are older in their life and they look younger, what my experience is, they've had the least amount of emotional stresses, or they've learned how to not allow their stresses to affect their physiology, because they know how to ask the quality questions, see the blessings in life. And so do yourself a favor and start dissolving any emotional baggage you might have in your past, and just watch how your physiology starts to normalize. Watch how symptoms that you've had for years start to go away by just asking quality questions. Again, yesterday, I felt it in my body. I was tense, shoulders hurt, neck was tight. I was anxious. My breath was off. And the more I could really calm and see full quantum and see how it was serving and see the lessons that are already showing up immediately after that accident, I got back into my body, my breath normalized, and I got back to intuition. I was able to be present and focused and think about what to do now. Now I've got to deal with an experience that just happened. Got to get the car home. I got to get a rental car. I got all these things that in the moment I couldn't even think clearly because I was seeing one side. As I started to see both sides, my mind started clearing and I could actually think. And this is what happens to all of us when we don't see full quantum of experience. It causes brain noise, and you can't think clearly in the moment. So important work here to do is to go through your experiences of life, pull out those nuggets of wisdom, and allow your intuition to come on board here. And again, the question is, am I seeing more positive and negative here? Am I seeing more negative and positive? Find out what's the charge. Are you instinctively running? Are you impulsively going? And if you can really tap into which one that is, you know where to start. Because if I'm being impulsive about something, I need to see more drawbacks to this so I can balance that out. If I'm being instinctual and running from something, that's the indicator that I need to see more benefits of this experience and not run so I can see full quantum. And again, like we discussed last time, when you can take the time to see full quantum, you get back into your body and you open up the intuition again, and then you can think more clearly about what needs to be done. The inner voice comes online. You can hear it happening when you get back to intuition and you know what to do next. But when you're polarized, you can't, because you're going to be making decisions out of emotion at that point and not out of intuition and out of a balanced state. So, and when you can learn to do that, just watch how your physiology starts to balance out, and watch how the brain noise goes away, and watch how your vision opens up for your life. Because without anxiety and fear of the future, you just opened up yourself for a greater vision of what's possible for your life. You've cut out all the future anxieties and those future fears that you have a perception that's going to happen. But look, if you go back through your life and you see full quantum of each experience, what do you think is going to happen in the future? Each experience is also going to have both sides to it as well. So when you can really own that, then the fear of the future and the anxiety of what's going to happen tomorrow and the next day, the next week, the next few years starts dissolving, because you know now that no matter what I experience, it's going to serve me. No matter what experiences come into my life, no matter who comes in, whatever what I decide to do, no matter what choices I decide to make, I'm going to experience both sides. I'm going to experience the full quantum. And then when you can learn to actually see those, ask those quality questions, the fear and anxiety dissolves for the future. And I know in my life, when I'm not having fear and anxiety of future, then your vision, it opens up, and the possibilities that you have for your life just got greater. Because when you have fear and anxiety, that means you cut off aspects of your future. You cut off possibilities that are there because you are trying not to re-experience something you perceive was bad in the past. So you're trying to, now you start to avoid certain people, certain experiences. You try to avoid putting yourself in situations that might come back and create the same perceived negative experience in your life. When you see that no matter what you experience, you're going to have both sides, it reduces that anxiety and fear of the future, so you can actually be open to any experience that comes your way, because no matter what comes to you, it's going to serve you. And when you can really own that, and I think the ownership of that comes from actually going through and really seeing how it's worked in your past and seeing both sides, really gets you the ownership of not having the fear of the future, not having the anxiety about what's coming next, and just be confident in yourself that no matter what I experience, no matter what happens to me, I'm going to navigate it. I'm going to breathe through it. I'm going to evaluate. I'm going to gather all the data, because when you're only seeing one side, you don't have all the data. So you're making a decision with half the information. So know that in the future, you're going to take the time to gather all the data of each experience. And then you're going to look and see, is the data by experience equal out? Am I seeing the same positive, negative, or do I still see that it was more negative or more positive than the other? So gather that data, ask the quality questions so you can see full quantum. Because again, every experience has both sides, and every experience has an equal amount of both sides, equal positive, equal negative. And when you know that and own that, as you move into the future, you can be more confident, you can be more certain, and you have more energy to attract the things that you are really wanting to attract into your life, because you don't have the anxiety and fear around it. So I know each of you out there have got something that you want to do. I'm sure there's some vision you might have for your life. And so as you dissolve the past, watch and see how that changes your vision for your future. And what I've seen with my clients is it opens up a whole new world of possibilities and things they never even considered was possible for their life, because of the anxiety and fear they had of the future, because of the perceptions they had from the past. Now, when that's all gone, there's endless possibilities. And so I want all of you to have endless possibilities of what you want to achieve in your life. And to do that, you want to get clear about who you are, your values, clarity about your mission, live authentically, and then learn the quality questions to navigate life experiences, so you can learn every lesson that you can possibly learn, every nugget of wisdom that's there from each experience that you can learn, and use that in your present moment and then moving in the future. And now you have more fulfillment of life and more balance in each area, your relationships, your career, finance, and health. Those are the golden areas. Because when I work with clients, I rarely work with anyone who doesn't want to empower every area of their life. And so to do so, you got to get clear about who you are in the middle, that I, like in the model, and then let's create the rich around that. And then you have the opportunity to have a rich, fulfilling life, mastering your emotions by learning how to navigate life experiences and asking the right questions. So find the full quantum of your past experiences. This is your homework. this next couple of weeks is, here's some homework. If you haven't seen the first two videos, Gia's posted them. We posted the videos, right, Gia? Watch those.
Yes,
And
we post the last.
perfect. Okay, watch those. And if you haven't gone through and got more clear about your values, do so. If you need help, let me help you. You can book a synergy call. Here, this is what you do. If you need help, book a free synergy call with me and let's talk through things. We're getting into this is a little bit deeper stuff tonight, because now you might be challenged by some of this. There might be a part of you thinking there's no way that there's no way that each experience has both sides. This thing that happened to me so many years ago is no way, but it does. And so if you find yourself being challenged, that's okay. Acknowledge that, but let's get some help working through some of these difficult things that you might have happened in your life. And we all have those things. And so, go through, get clear on your values, clarity of your mission as well. And then go back through your life, get these experiences down, and start picking away at these quality questions and see if you can't on your own start dissolving some of these misperceptions that you have about your life and start to see full quantum. And there might be some experiences that were just huge. Sometimes in life, we have some real doozies, like atomic bomb drops in our life, those obviously might be more challenging because they're big, death in the family or bankruptcy or loss of job or a health problem, those kind of things. Those are big ones. And so, but it still has full quantum and it still is here to serve us. There's still lessons to learn from those big ones. Usually those big ones are going to give you the biggest lessons. Wouldn't it be great to be able to go through and extrapolate all the learning from all these experiences that you've had, compile that into a nice statement to where now you've got some information, you've got data that you've gathered about all your life experiences and what are the lessons that you've learned from those. And what I've noticed is when we can capture that information, now we've got insights about your mission and why you're here, because you haven't experienced things for nothing. Everything has meaning. You drew it into your life for some reason. We draw these experiences for some reason into our life, and we filter those through our own specific values. And that's what makes us unique. And so your values are unique. Your mission is unique. And learning to navigate these life experiences smoothly and effectively in the present moment gives you the opportunity to just continue to flow through life. Like we said last time, you can flow through life like this, or you can do like this. My experience, when you learn how to ask the quality questions, you flow through life. Not that you don't have ups and downs, because we always will continue to have ups and downs, but being able to navigate them and not get yourself off, way up or way down emotionally, bipolar, split, and being able to stay present even through the difficult moments, because you know how to ask quality questions and because you know each event serves. And you may not be able to see it in the very moment, but you will if you ask the right questions. Hindsight's always 20/20. We've seen that. You can look back on things way early in life and really see both sides. Wow, I can see why this person left my life. Thank goodness. I would imagine being with them now would be terrible. So easy to do that. The tough ones are in the present moment. So practice by going through your own life and just practice and see how this law of polarity works every time if you know how to ask the right questions. So, and jump on a synergy call sometime. You can do that. It's free. We'll talk 20, 30 minutes, help you get unstuck if you're stuck, give you some ideas of what to do. And so you can keep moving forward. This is what we're here to do. Let's keep growing. Great. I want to ask some questions in a moment, but I want to remind you of these two coming up. The illusion of loss and gain, that's coming up. That's going to be a great one. This is around the illusion that you lose or gain something, like maybe a person or things in your life that may have left, death in the families, or someone broke up with you, or someone shows up in your life, or there's, we're going to talk around the illusion of that and how to ask the right questions to see that there's nothing missing. It just transforms. And then the one after that is something I'm dear to. This is 30 years of my work, is your body is speaking. Are you listening? How to how to decipher your body's symptoms to be able to learn self-mastery through that. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Again, I've been doing that for a long time. This Adventures in the Self-Mastery program started 53 years ago, and that's when I was born. So I've been working on this program. So I appreciate the opportunity to share this with you, because I think it's valuable tools to learn now, no matter who you are and where you are and what you're doing. So thank you for being here tonight. So Gia, if anyone has questions, we're right on time, 2 minutes to 8. Perfect. Are there any questions? Maybe there aren't any.
Yes, there is a question from Sarah Morse.
All right.
Sarah, would you like to unmute yourself, or I read your question?
Yes.
Well, I will read it. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. If she doesn't read it, yes, someone read it.
Okay. When writing down the benefits or throwbacks to a situation, what's an example of a quality question we can ask ourselves to see the other side?
This is where it's important to, the more clear you're on your highest values, you can go straight into what's important to you. So the question I like to ask is, how is what I've experienced? If it's a past experience, how is what I've experienced at that time, how did that serve my highest values in that time? Because again, our values can shift over time. And it may be that who you were 20 years ago, what was important to you back then might be different than what's important to you today. And so you want to make sure you go back into that moment and you get really clear about who were you in that time? What was your highest values then? Why was this such an important experience? How did it serve my values in that time that it happened? How is it a benefit? Or if it's something else, how is it a drawback? And then how has it actually been benefiting me throughout the time since it happened to the current day? And how is my values today? How is it serving my values today that I experienced that in the past? And so that way you can link that from not only see how it served you then, because sometimes you might think, well, it didn't help me back then, but I see it helped me now. But the truth is, it helped you back then. You attracted it. So ask yourself, what was my values then? What was important? Why did that experience happen? How did it serve me then? How has it served me all the way up to the present moment? So there's a couple of questions. So that's why knowing your values gets right to the core of what's important to you. I mean, if you try to ask, you're trying to see benefits to it, to like lower values, it's not going to make that much of an impact to you. But if you can see how it served the most important thing to you, which is your highest values, how did it serve my highest values? How does it serve my mission here that I experienced that moment? Now you're getting to the heart. You get into the root of how this experience actually has helped you get driven to live your highest values and your mission. So that's why it's important to know your values more clearly. The more clear you're on your values, the more clear you can see the benefits to something, the quicker you can dissolve it. If you're not clear about your values and you're not linking it to the highest values, then it might be a little more difficult to work through it because you're not linking it to something that's truly highest on your values. So I hope that answered your question, Sarah. If not, we can keep elaborating. Gia? Are you there? All right. Hey, Gia, I can't, there you go. I can hear you now.
Yay.
Okay.
Great.
So anyway, I hope that answered the question. Any more questions?
Thanks for answering, Dave. Another question is from Angela. Can I get the link to the first video, please?
Yes, no problem.
That is a good question. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we'll send you that. Can we post it in this chat box or do we need to just send it directly? to
Yes,
her?
I'm gonna search for the video, the first video, and I will send it from here.
Okay, great. Yeah, the first talk, we talked a lot about the importance of what makes you unique, which is your values, again, your mission, and you just being authentic. And so again, if we think about the model, it's the core of your life. You know, I like the model because it gives us a really good way to just have an overview of your life. And you know, when I'm doing like planning and visioning, you know, I can look at this model and I can really see what do I want in my relationships, what do I want in my career and finance, what do I want in my health, and you can see how everything overlaps with each other. You know, something that affects your health is going to affect your relationship and your career. Something that affects your career is going to affect your relationship and health, and relationships going to affect your career and your health. So everything flows together. And what's in the core of the model is your identity. And so that's why you want to spend the most time and energy on getting clear about who you are, because that's going to be the foundation of all the choices that you're going to be making in your life. You know, what relationships to be in or not be in, what career to take or not take, what, you know, and even your health and well-being, you know, is going to be based around who you are and what your values are and what your drives are. And when you're clear on that, you can be clear on decisions. When you're unclear about who you are and unclear about where you're going, it's much more difficult to know what choices to make at certain times. And the beauty is you can't screw up, because even if you make a choice that may not be aligned to your values at the moment, you're going to run into some feedback that's going to help teach you to get back on track again. So you can't mess up. You're only going to learn lessons. And so when you're clear on your values and you make choices that are more aligned to who you are, in my experience, you have less turmoil and challenges that come to you that have to get you back on track. Instead, you attract challenges that are more inspiring to you because they're on your way to your mission. When you make choices that are not aligned to your values, you're going to also attract challenges, but those challenges are going to be more challenges to get you back on track. And so I'd much rather attract the challenges of moving towards something than having to get knocked in the head by something. And so that was a great course. So yeah, watch that and get clear on your values, get clear on that mission, and because everything is going to depend on that. And that will get you off the fence of so many things. You might be thinking about what to do, how to do it, or what choice to make, who to be with. If you're having struggles with making choices, it's because you're not as clear about your values. You're not quite as clear about who you are, because when you are clear, decisions come quicker, and then you can make a commitment. So, and I encourage people, no matter what you decide to do, commit to doing it fully and go for it. Don't step halfway into it. Just step into whatever it is you want to do and just allow whatever comes from that to happen, because you're not going to mess it up. Worst case, you're going to attract some circumstances that teaches you to get something about getting back on track. Okay. So you can't screw it up. You can only have lessons and learn something. More questions, Gia?
I don't see any more questions. And
Okay.
I send the link to the first video.
Perfect.
It's called How to Capitalize on Your Own Uniqueness.
That's right. Which is your
Right.
values, your mission, and authenticity. And also, I encourage you to, go back and make sure that you got this model down somewhere. And again, make sure you take some time and look at this model and ask yourself questions about, okay, my relationships, what do I truly desire? What does my ideal relationship look like socially? What does my ideal relationship look like with my family? What does my ideal relationship look like with my partner? My career, what's my service that I want to do? Am I clear on that? What is the mastery? What I need to do to master that service more? And what is the wealth that I want to attract because of me providing that service? And just get clear on that. And then look at the health, chemical, physical, emotional. What do I want to, how do I want to look and feel mentally and physically in my life? And get clear on each of these things. And in my experience, when you get clear on each of those things and you know where you want to go, now it's just a matter of connecting the dots from where you are now to where you really want to be. And that's just action steps and making decisions and moving in a direction. So I personally love I love helping people clarify vision, because if you know where you want to go and you're clear on that, and that's aligned and it's inspiring to you, that's the hardest part. Now we just got to connect the dots and take actions. And each time you take an action step towards something that's inspiring, it's just a matter of time before you achieve it. And then it's time to set new goals and new visions. So take the time and get clear about each area of your life that you want to create. Once you get clear about your values, then you ask yourself, is the vision that I want for my life, are these visions aligned with my values? Are they aligned with who I am? Sometimes we have a vision for our life, but it's actually maybe based on someone else's vision for our life, or what we think someone else wants us to do, or what we should do, or what we have to do, or got to. We want to know what you would love to do for your life. Because if you're answering that question, what would I love in my relationship area of life? What would I love in my career? What would I love in my health? That's more inspiring than asking, well, what do I got to do? What do I have to have this, or I've got to have this, or I ought to have this, or I really should have this. That's not your voice talking. That's an authority figure, and that's not as inspiring. So let's make your inspiring wellness, make your inspiring rich model. Go through and just really get clear about what you want for your life. And what you'll notice is this: these experiences that you have had in your past are going to have these nuggets of wisdom all wrapped up in it. It's going to give you the information, the lessons, and the tools to help you get what you want in your life. So get clear about where you want to go, get clear about who you are, dissolve the baggage and learn the lessons from your experiences, and then choose to go in a direction and just see what happens. You're going to move toward an inspired vision when you really can manage your life more effectively and can categorize it and structure it like this. It's way more efficient, I've noticed, in life to really have a plan. I know some people, I don't have a plan, I just kind of go with it and whatever, which I see has got great value in following your nose. But in the overall picture of your life, I personally have seen it helps to have a clear vision about where you're going. Because now you can choose to live more inspired life and choose inspired actions based around who you are. And that's more fulfilling, I've noticed, in my life than just flying by the seat of my pants. So take the time, give yourself permission to go for it, and just allow yourself to create the life that you want. And I know I heard that, get the why down, and then the hows will take care of themselves. Don't worry about how you're going to do it. Just get clear about the why. What do you want for your life? And is that inspiring to you? And then the hows, they're going to come. They'll take care of themselves. When you're inspired, you'll find a way. Sometimes you need help, but that's the path, is get clear first. Don't worry about how yet. I know I've worked with a few of you in the past, and we've done that before. We've helped you get a clear vision and helped you with action steps, and you've done some amazing stuff. So it's a lot of fun. So we all deserve to have an amazing, fulfilling life. So, and I like this model because it helps us see our life in one shot here and really can categorize things. So any other questions? Any other comments?
Yes, Dave, I have a question.
Good.
Do you have the complete words for this methodology?
You want to know what the initials stand for?
And yes.
Okay. Under the R, which is relationships, you have the S, which is your social, the F, which is family, and the P is your partner, which is either you or someone you're with. I work with a lot of couples, so I think it's an important aspect of life is that. So the C is career. The S is the service that you're providing. The M is the mastery of that service. And the W is the wealth that you want to attract as a result, which could be financial wealth. It could be family wealth. It could be health. It could be all kinds of forms. It doesn't have to be money, but it's the giving and receiving of service. H, chemical, physical, and emotional. Those are the areas of health. Mind, body health is the chemical aspect, the physical aspect, and the emotional component. And the I is identity in the middle. The V is your values. M is your mission, and A is your authenticity. And again, that's the core of the model. That's actually my logo for my company. That's where the logo comes from. It comes from the centerpiece, which is your identity. That's the core of the whole model. So take the time to get clear on that piece, because it's really crucial to know yourself. Knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. It's the beginning of self-mastery. That's why I start this program. We spend so much time really getting clear, helping you get clear about who you are, because that's what everything's going to be based on. I mean, what else is your life supposed to be based on? Someone else's? I mean, this is your life. You know, you're the captain. So take time to get clear and plan your life. And what we talked about last time also was no matter what you decide to do for your life, you're going to attract people who like it, and some aren't going to like it. Doesn't matter. So the key is, do you like it? Do you love yourself? Are you inspired about your life? Because no matter what you decide, not everyone's going to jump on your train with you. Some are going to jump on, some are going to jump off. You just got to get clear and keep moving forward, not being attached to who decides to join you or not on your journey, but just live your life, being able to navigate each experience by asking questions and seeing the full quantum, and not be attached to outcomes as much as just being attached to you, just being yourself. Because that ultimately is our mission, is to come here and just be ourselves and be inspired. And whatever comes out of that is exactly perfection, what you're meant to be doing. We're not here to be someone else. We're here to be ourselves. And so to learn how to so go study, they say it takes 10,000 hours to master something. So, put 10,000 hours in learning about yourself. Every time you go back and learn from an experience, you're learning about you. You're learning about you. Every experience you had, you're learning about who you are. You're learning about what you're about, why you're here, what makes you tick. Why do you think the way you think? Why do you choose the things you do? It's because of your values. So take the time to get clear on that, because it's foundational for everything else. That makes sense?
I have a question, Dave.
All right.
First of all, hello. Good to see you. Hola, Gia. Good to
Glad
see
you made it.
Hola.
My first question is, would you be okay with me sharing these videos with like friends or family members that I feel would benefit from these kinds of things, in hopes that maybe they'll either join or maybe just continue watching on their own time?
That'd be fantastic if you could share.
Awesome. And then my second question is, can I have the link for the Synergy appointment, or is that on your website?
It's on the website, drdavetuck.com, but there it is.
Your personal website. Gotcha. Okay.
drdavetuck.com/apply. Yeah. If you go to the website, you'll see a thing that says Synergy. Click on it, and it'll prompt you to answer a few questions, and it'll send me a message, and we'll schedule a time.
It's Dr. Dave.
Part of what's driven my experiences of life, as I've gone through the study of studying me over 53 years, really heavily for the last 20 years, is it's led me to being here today, sharing these tools with you, which is why I'm here. And so I love the opportunity to share these tools that I've learned, that I've applied, that I've taken and maybe added my own twist and from my own experiences, because we're all teachers and we all have wisdom from our life. So I love the opportunity to share with more people. So the more that you can share what I'm doing, that would be fantastic. So there's no limit to how many people you can share this to. There's no limit. So go ahead.
Amazing. Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. I'm glad I finally was able to come and join. I've been trying to join these past two. So I love that, you got Gia helping you here, and I can go back and watch them and catch up and stuff. And
yeah,
I really look forward to connecting with you. I can honestly tell you, like, from the last time we've done work, there's just been significant growth, and I can't, wait to share that with you. And and we're in a new level, you know, so I'm glad I was able to make the call because this is right on time, like, you know, with everything that's going. So keep pushing. I love it. I'm super proud of you too, just seeing you grow as well. And it's just been an honor to, you know, be able to share this space and time with everybody. And I know we're all here trying to, you know, evolve and be the best versions of ourselves that we can be. And so I know we're in great hands, and I just wanted to say thank you.
Well, thanks for showing up tonight. I'm glad you can make it. And we got 9 more. So
Amazing.
every second and fourth Thursday, basically, is what's going to happen. So, so 2 weeks from today, we'll be around the illusion of loss and gain. That's a really significant one. I'll be sharing some personal stuff with that one, as my wife passed a year and 3 months ago. And so there was so many amazing lessons and wisdom that came out of that. It's going to be a part of what we'll discuss. It's a great opportunity to learn how to really navigate those things in life that are going to happen. We're going to have experiences that we perceive a loss. So we perceive we perceive the loss, or we perceive gain. So it's going to happen. So if you're already equipped with the tools to navigate that, when it happens, it doesn't throw you off so much. You can actually learn and grow from it. And it doesn't have to take years and years to get over things. It's not about time. It's about perception. If you can change your perception, you shorten that time interval to which you can learn and heal from something. So anyway, thanks for that question, Nadine.
Yeah, I look forward to those classes too. I know you got some golden nuggets, as we call them, in there. And so thank you for sharing. And I look forward to it. Like I said, it's not for nothing, you know, it's definitely perfect timing. And I'm just like, I was already thinking like, you know, how am I going to do this? And then it was like, but why are you doing this? And then Dave's like, hey, let me send you a reminder text. This is going on today. I was like, epic. Perfect. Synchronicity. Let's do it.
Yeah. And so the links to the first 2 videos in the chat, if you haven't seen them, watch them. Anyway, everything's kind of building here. So come back in a couple of weeks and we're going to keep building on this. So love you guys. Thanks for being here. Gia, thank you so much for being so amazing and helping out. And if there are no more questions.
Yay, Dave, it's such an honor. Thanks. Thank you,
everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you for your questions. And 3 more questions?
No question for me. I was just saying thank you. It's good. I'm glad I made it as well. So that was awesome.
It's great to hear your voice, Deshay. Thanks for being here.
We got some catching up to do. I'm so proud of you.
I know, I'm ready. I'll see you guys soon. See you in a couple of weeks. If you have any issues between, be in touch. Get a Synergy call. It's free. It doesn't cost anything. Check it out. And we'll see you soon.
All righty. Thank you. Good night, everyone.
Bye. Good night.
Bye, y'all. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Dave. Good night.
Bye. Great job.